Howdy, you saw the title of this live stream. I haven't done a live stream in forever. I think last time was the Royal Rumble live streams. And those were fun. This is my first live stream of a review. First ever. So this should be real interesting. We are doing the next chapter. Well, not even a chapter. It's a anthology movie of Solo, a Star Wars story. Directed by, I don't even know. I'll tell you the whole story behind that. So this, in this new era of Star Wars, this is the fourth movie we've had in 4 years. And this one is the first of the new movies that not take place in December. It's in May, which is an interesting change of pace. Oh yeah, I got Brian Kelly. How was the movie? Personally, actually, I have to get through like everything else before I can really talk about it. We have to talk about the behind the scenes issues. That is what we need to talk about first and foremost. So, as you all know, originally the duo of Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the same guys who did the Jump Street movies, Lego movie, The First Class with Chance of Meatballs, all great flicks. They were hired to direct this movie. And I was just like, oh, cool, this could be really interesting. And, and while like some of the casting choices got a little controversial, Aiden Elkin, right? But some of the casting choices were, everyone's like, yes, this is awesome. Like, Don Glover's Lando. Everyone, including myself, thought, even if the movie sucks, at least he'll be good in it. Yeah, so everything was, like, running smoothly. There's no real problems until last year. Around this time, I think. They got fired. They got canned from Solo. And everyone was shocked. Everyone was like, what happened? Like, what they do to piss off Kathleen Kennedy? Well, see, apparently, from what I've heard, they had too many of their own ideas, and Disney didn't like that because this movie was kind of a risk already because, like, who honestly wants to see an origin for Han Solo? Everyone wants that Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. That's where the real money is. But, of course, they're not going to do that. I know it's in the works, but that doesn't mean it's, like, really happening. Yeah, they got fired from Kathleen Kennedy, and Ron Howard, from The Grinch, the guy who made The Grinch, Apollo 13, those awful Da Vinci Code movies, he was brought in, to kind of salvage this whole thing. And originally everyone thought, oh, is this going to be like some reshoots? Kind of like what Justice League went through around the same time, which is not a good thing. Just like reshoots, just like, a couple weeks of reshoots. No, this is more like reshot the entire movie, which doesn't happen ever. And make it even worse, the first freaking trailer, the first official look of this movie wasn't released until 3 months for premiere, which is stupid. That tells you a bad things. That's just a really bad sign. Like, why? It's a very bad sign when when the first trailers come out until just a few months before the movie premieres. Like, that's just bad. I mean, there are certain movies that have done that have still done well, but this is not one of those situations. And the first trailer had like a lackluster reaction because everyone was like, oh, this is bland. I don't know about this Aiden Alkenreich. It just doesn't look like a movie I would pay to see. Then the second trailer came out and it was like, it's a little better, but I'm still have to go wait and see. And then, of course, all that Last Jedi backlash. Last Jedi is one of the most divisive movies of the decade, even more than Batman v Superman. It's either like you either love it or you hate it. And personally, I'm sort of in the middle. I'm like, it's okay. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great either. I'm just in the okay section. But apparently that's not good enough if you're on the internet. So, yeah. It's a lot to pack in. And of course, the fan base is basically divided at this point. A lot of people are leaving it. A lot of people are rooting it for Solo to fail. They want Episode 9 to fail. They want Kathleen Kennedy. They think she's the Antichrist. They want her gone. Okay, they want her just gone. Her and Rian Johnson. They just... it's a mess. It's a big old disaster right now, and they need to change things soon. Either get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, get someone who's a bit more competent at what they're doing. I don't know what they think of Star Wars. You know what? Maybe Star Wars just wasn't good to begin with. Maybe it was just a stupid little movie that some people got a kick out of it and was just like, and they made a whole franchise out of it, and that's a joke. Just saying, that's a joke. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe, I don't know. Just like Sonic, maybe Star Wars just never was good to begin with. Ugh. So the movie itself, after all that production drama and whatnot, and the Star Wars backlash, it finally came out. I saw it on yesterday at 7 p.m. Early screenings, and I went to see it. I honestly thought it was going to be an empty theater. I would have laughed if it was an empty theater, but it was actually pretty packed, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then like some trailers played, like Venom, Ant-Man, Wasp, Mission Impossible 6, typical movies. They playing, and then the Lucasfilm logo popped, and you don't want to know what happened. The craziest thing happened. People clapped. They clapped. They're like, yay. I'm just like, what? That shocked me. You think that all this backlash from Last Jedi would have some effect on Star Wars and its reputation, but apparently not. These are clearly casuals. And I'm a casual too, but I didn't clap. I was just weirded out there by clapped. So, let's finally get to the review. So, this movie's all about Han Solo. How Han Solo became Han Solo. How he met Chewie. How he got the Millennium Falcon. Blah, 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 blah. Anything you could basically read in a book. In one of those Star Wars expansion novels. Or comic book. Or something like that. Yeah, it's basically a heist mission. And it's just... Okay, the movie. Well, I'm starting to see like the Star Wars backlash has begun again because reviews are like at a 69%, which isn't too bad. It's not in the 20s like the DCU movies, but the audience score is terrible. It's at a 56. That's really bad, and some people be like, "Oh, that's just fanboys just being all mad." I'm just like, well, then or oh, it's just like, oh, all those non-SJWs. Well, if that was the case, why doesn't Wonder Woman? Why didn't Wonder Woman get any backlash? Why didn't Black Panther get any backlash? Why didn't Infinity War didn't get backlash? Why didn't Deadpool 2 get any backlash from that? Of course they didn't, because they're all actually good films. They didn't have that controversy. And I just read on the screen he was Brian Kelly was just like, did you see Darth Vader? Well, unfortunately no. But we did see someone else, and I'll explain that in a bit. This video has spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie, leave away. Don't watch this live stream. So the movie starts off on, what was it? I forgot the planet. It's like this garbage planet. It's like a not very cool planet. You got Han and his girlfriend. I forgot her name. That's how forgettable she is. I'm just gonna call her Amelia Clark because that's who she is. They're all together. They have to get stuff from this worm-looking thing that's never explained. So Han's just like, I want to get us out of here, and I'm just like, why does this sound so familiar? This honestly feels like you got like both these characters in a bad situation. It reminds me a little bit of Baby Driver, but difference is that Baby Driver is actually a great movie. Has great music and action and man, Baby Driver. I should really buy that. That was such a good movie. Uh, yeah, but they eventually escape, you know, and like they're about to leave, but then they get separated, and Han like joins an Imperial flight, and the dude's just like name, and he's just like Han is like, you got any family, any people? And he's like, no, I'm alone. Your name is Han Solo. There you go. And I'm like, really? That's the best you can come up with. That's just the laziest way to do it. Then you get a time jump, and this is where I think things are starting to like, you can start to see the cracks. You don't know what parts were directed by Phil or Chris Miller. You don't know what parts were directed by Ron Howard. Someone Justice League. You don't know which parts were directed by Zack Snyder. You don't know which parts were directed by Joss Whedon. It is weird. But eventually, he's like in an army. He has like a smart mouth. No one likes that. He meets Woody Harrelson and Thandie Newton and this other alien. I forgot its name. And actually before that, he meets them, but then like he gets like tricked. And he's get thrown in like the dungeon where he has to fight this big old beast. And you don't know who this big old beast is? It's Chewbacca, of course. And the two finally meet, and at first it's not the best relationship, but eventually, Han does speak Wookiee, and he helps Chewbacca escape. And the two join Woody Harrelson, Thandie Newton, and the other alien, and they have to go and find this whatever it's called. It's like I forgot what it was called. It was like these little bottles. Like if you like do something with it, like it will explode, which is not a good thing. But they're very valuable, and so they fly over to see Paul Bettany with some weird scars on his face. But Han runs into Emilia Clarke, and she's like, "Oh, cool, you're here." But she's like, "I work here." And eventually they meet Paul Bettany, and just like, okay, well, actually, before that, Thandie Newton dies. In a cheap way, too. She dies, the alien dies, just with no... We barely even knew him, so it's not that big of an issue. So Han, Chewie, Woody Harrelson, and Emilia Clarke, they have to, find more of this, stuff, but they're just like, well, we need a ship, we need something fast. So basically, Clark's just like, I know a guy, his name is Lando Calrissian, and they see him, he's playing cards. There's actually two card scenes in the movie, one at in the middle of the movie and one at the end. Now at first, Han thinks he's won, but then Lando like kind of pull a fast one. It's just like, got you, I win. But eventually, he does join the squad, and also the other droid. What was it? EL-37. I'm gonna call her SJW. That's what she really is. I'll explain my disdain for her later. But yeah, so they all join up. They get the Millennium Falcon. And I think one person clapped in my theater. One person clapped. And, so that happened. And then they have to go from point A to point B. But before that, actually, they have to deal with these, like, space pirates. They have some really cool looking armor. Especially, like, the main one. Looks pretty cool. Um, so yeah, like they have to deal with them. They have to get to this. It's basically a very safe go from point A to point B to point C, and then that's all it is. So yeah, they do all that. They fight like a giant space squid thing. And then after that, what else after that? Oh yeah, big twist time, predictable twist time. Um, Turns out Woody Harrelson, he double crossed them. He's just like, you know what? Nah. Like I'm like I'm taking this valuable stuff for myself, and like you feel like you find out like Emilia Clarke turned on him, but then she didn't, and then she turned on him again. And I'm just like, why? What's the point? I don't care about you anyway. Like what? Ugh. I'll explain about her later. So like we're down to oh yeah like the cool space pirates. One of the rules are Helmet, and guess what? It's a woman. What a shock! Considering how these movies work, it's a woman. And I'm just like, really? We're doing this shtick where you think it's a man, but it turns out to be a woman. That is just so old and dated. I mean, this isn't Metroid. This isn't the first Metroid. Like, stop doing that. That was like, what, 25 years ago? Like, stop it. It's so unnecessary. And it's such a cliche, too. So, yeah, she helps out Han, but eventually we reach our climactic battle. Han versus Woody Harrelson. And Han does shoot first, which eventually does lead to, the whole who shot first, Han or Greedo, and I think that's where it came from. So yeah, Woody Harrelson dies. So Han, Chewie, they're basically off on their own adventures and whatnot, and that's it. Oh yeah, Emilia Clarke's character. You probably went, what happened to her? Well, she's still on the ship. Well, like the big battle broke down, and she killed Paul Bettany, which sucks because he was one of the better parts of the movie. But the person, it's not Darth Vader, but we got the next best thing to Darth Vader in my eyes. She's talking to Darth Maul. Yes, the red dude from Phantom Menace with the awesome double lightsaber. Yeah, he shows up for basically a cameo. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that put a smile on my face. I was just like, okay, movie, you like sort of won me over at the end. But yeah, then like Han and Chewie are off on their own little adventure that will technically, considering when this movie takes place, since Darth Maul is alive, this clearly takes place before the prequels, so before Episode 1. But there's a lot of time before Episode 1, between like Solo and Episode 1. You can do stuff. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to think. I don't think this makes much sense. Because I know Han in his movies is in his early 20s, but since it takes place either before the prequels or during Episode 1, at least I think it is, or right before Episode 1, Luke's still a kid. Actually, Anakin is still a kid. Luke hasn't even been born yet. Neither is Leia. Oh, this whole thing's causing plot holes. But yeah, like then the movie ends. I heard there might be a post-credit scene, but honestly, I didn't care. I just wanted to go. Sorry about that. Went off on me. That's always fun. So the review, pros and cons. Well, I have a special con I will say for later. You should already know what that is, judging by according to the title. Pros. Chewie! Chewbacca. He's easily my favorite character in the whole movie because, he's Chewbacca. Like he's always cool and everything. Even in, like, The Last Jedi, where it was extremely controversial. Um, he's still a. It's still nice to see him, and it's nice to see him in this movie too. And it's good. He and Han like have some pretty good chemistry together. I'm just like, you know what? I think I'd like. I think this movie would have been better if it was more focused on those two instead of this stupid plot. It was focused on them doing what they want to do. That'd be cool. But no, the movie had to add a bunch of other stupid stuff to it. The effects, the action scenes, they look great, but unfortunately, they're not like super exciting. There's nothing that'll make you go, "Wow, I gotta see this movie." Like, there's nothing like even The Last Jedi. Again, despite being hated by many fans or true fans, I don't even know. The fan base is just so. It's about to. It's such a bad situation. But at least we had an epic fight scene, and right after Kylo Ren killed Snoke with Rey and Kylo beating up, slicing up all those guards. That was a pretty awesome fight. So we didn't have any of that. It didn't have one real exciting scene in it, and that just sucks. It didn't have anything memorable. I mean, Rogue One, we had that awesome space battle at the end, and Force Awakens, we had some pretty cool, action scenes. This movie just didn't have that, which really is underwhelming. So that's both a pro and a con. It was more of a con, really. Lando. Well, although like his character didn't get enough screen time, I still think he did a good job, but he clearly needed a better script and a better director to really, help him and whatnot. Make him better. Maybe if he's in another movie, maybe it will be better, but we don't know. Paul Bettany. I love the dude. It's nice to see him after he got murdered in Infinity War. His character, he overacted a bit. He's I guess you can say the villain, sorta. But yeah, he gave a pretty decent performance. He was pretty entertaining. What else? Woody Harrelson is Woody Harrelson. He's just Woody Harrelson in a Star Wars movie, which isn't entirely a bad thing. The score is, well, it's more of a con, really. That's also a bit of a con. Cons. Let's go through all of them. Probably, this is more of a mixed opinion, but Aiden Algenreich, I think that's how you say his name. Everyone's been debating if he was worthy of playing Han Solo. It was like, oh, he's gonna suck. Oh, he's gonna be great. Personally, I was just like, meh. He's okay. He's passable, but he's not memorable. And cause when I was looking at the movie, I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like, I don't see Han Solo, and I know the movie was he doesn't start out as Han Solo. He grows into it, which is so cliche, but yeah, it's just a lot. It was just he was just fine. He wasn't offensive, but he wasn't amazing. He was just okay-ish. That's the best way I can describe his performance in the movie. Emilia Clarke, she's a good actress. Everyone knows that. But her character is just so lackluster. That's the problem with, I was looking through a bunch of Star Wars videos from the fans who are really pissed off about it. I think Comic Book Secrets, Geeks and Gamers, World Class BSers. I've seen a good chunk of their videos. I'm just like, I don't agree with every last thing they say, but I do agree with one thing about these the female characters, because you all know Star Wars is trying real hard to make it all diverse. Diversity is key, And like that's fine, but the problem with these characters, these female characters especially, they have no character. They have no character at all. They're just, what is their character? Please answer that. What is Rey's character? What is Jyn Erso's character? What is Rose's character? What is Emilia Clarke's character? Please answer. The answer, nothing. Well, that's correct, because there's nothing like to them. They're just there because they're the heroes. And it's just, and we all know characters without characters are just boring, useless. Like, what is the point of watching you? Like, because there's no point. And she's just one of them. She's just there because she's a woman. I'm like, that's fine, but give me a reason to care. You can't just have all these diverse characters just because. There has to be a reason. There has to be a purpose. They have to be interesting. They have to be memorable, and they're not. Sorry about that little rant. I'm saving myself for a bigger rant coming up very shortly. What other cons are there? The plot is just the movie itself is just super safe. Like it doesn't do anything original. It doesn't do anything risky. It's just a safe movie for a mainstream audience. And that's either gonna help it or hurt it at the box office, because we all know China doesn't like Star Wars. They made it very clear, and it bombed horribly in China. But that happens. That happened with all the regular movies. With here, this is where it'll be very key. Maybe it'll have good word of mouth. Maybe it won't be a turd. Maybe it won't bomb. It probably won't, because it has no competition other than Deadpool 2, and since Star Wars is more family friendly, it will obviously win. All it has to do is just break the Memorial Day record to not be considered a fail, or at least come close to it, but mainly break it. But it's just a safe movie, no risk, nothing truly interesting. It's just like a meh type movie. Let's get to the special argument. That droid, that SJW droid really got on my nerves, because what? Probably wondering, well, what's so bad about that droid? Well, when you meet her, she's like banging against a cage, like the same place Lando's at. Like, there's like this robot fight. You know, like those robot fights you see on TV. This is basically one of them. It's just a droid fight. And she's just like, stop this with the droids. They have lives. And I'm like, no, you don't have lives. You're robots. I thought robots didn't have like much emotion to them. Like, and it's like, we need free will. I'm just like, what are you gonna do? You're a robot. What are you gonna do? Go to the beach? Like, what are you gonna do? Technically, robots were made to serve people. Even C-3PO and R2-D2, when you really think about it, they are still technically serving, but they're serving the resistance. They're a part of the resistance. They're kind of serving it. So I don't know what this stupid robot's problem is. Like, it's just so stupid, and it really just irks me. It really triggers me, and then like it makes it even worse, because if you read the headlines, you know that they confirmed that Lando Calrissian is pansexual, which basically means he loves everybody. And I'm just like, why would you announce it? Like, you do realize that's going to be a major turnoff for some people. Everyone's going to be like, some people don't want to take their kids to a movie where, like, that, you know, describes one of the characters as pansexual. I don't think parents would want their kids to watch that type of stuff. And then it's implied that Lando loves his droid a little too much in an uncomfortable, disgusting way. And you're just like, this is making me very uncomfortable. I don't want to be here anymore. Can I leave? That's how I felt. It was just, oh no. I didn't like it at all. I hated her character. If I was there, I would have shot her in the head many times as possible, as much ammunition in my gun as possible, and then kick her some more because she is the worst character, one of the worst characters I've seen in a long time. Because all she does, like, she tries to start a rebellion and it fails miserably. I'm like, you really should think this through. Well, of course you don't, because you're all about, droid rights and droid lives matter. I'm like, ugh. I'm here to be entertained. I'm not here for politics. I do not. I hate politics. I hate like SJ. I don't. This whole thing with like SJW is just out of control. They ruin everything. They're all over everything, and it's really gone on my last nerves. And I know some people might come after me because of the title, and I'm just like, it's terrible. They need SJWs like all those people who say they're feminists. They need to just they need to just go. They need to just do something productive with their lives because I'm sick of and tired of this argument with these SJWs. It's happening for years now. It's only going to get worse. They need to stop. They really need to stop. They need to realize that how stupid they're acting, and it's just ruining all types of media, especially Star Wars. And some of the people like I've been watching, they say that Kathleen Kennedy is the reason why we have all this diversity and SJW nonsense. I'm like, well, if that's the case, then she should be fired. She should be just gone. Because the only way you're gonna really save Star Wars is either if you kill it or you get rid of the main people involved. And everyone really hates Rian Johnson too. Like they think he's just like. And some people have been taking their hatred for this series like a little too far. Like they want certain people to die, and I'm just like, what is your problem? This is a movie, okay? This isn't your life, okay? If it is your life, then there's nothing I can do about that. But it's just, I hate politics and movies. They drive me insane. That's why I hate watching the news. I never watch the news. I don't watch TV anymore. I mainly just play games and watch movies. That's about it. But yeah, it's just bad. Disney should really stop this. I mean, Disney Disney has I think maybe too many properties. I mean, the MCU they can keep. They've been making some serious bank on that. There's no reason why they should get rid of it. But just like Star Wars and just all this political nonsense, they just need to stop it and just listen to the fans and just give them what they want. Honestly, because that's the only way you can save this franchise. Ugh, I hate that droid. That's one reason I want to do a live stream of this, because I want as many people as possible listen to me why this droid is an abomination and why whoever created that droid, should be fired ASAP. And yeah, it's really got on my last nerves. Anywho, I think that's about everything. Oh yeah, this movie sort of set us up for a sequel, a potential sequel. Which, if it's all behind Chewie, okay. If it's anything political, SJW, no. I'm like, I'm either just gonna wait and see it when it's cheap, or I'm just not gonna see it at all. It's just, I just didn't like it all that much. I'm sorry, but I just didn't. It was just very lackluster. I had nothing really truly exciting about it. It was just a lackluster movie, and some of you will probably still see it. And if that's good, if you want to still see it, great. All power to you. But personally, I didn't like it. Is it the worst movie I've seen this year? No. Pacific Rim Uprising. That movie can burn. That was the single-handedly the worst movie I've seen all year. But Han Solo, of all the movies I've seen, it's probably at second place. Because I've only seen a couple movies this year. The movies I've only seen are trying to remember. Black Panther. What else after that? Pacific Rim Uprising. Ready Player One. A Quiet Place. Infinity War. And Deadpool 2, and now Solo. And yeah, Solo is in second place because all the movies I've seen go from like best to worst. Because Pacific Rim Uprising, I despise that movie because it just ruined Pacific Rim. I don't think this movie ruined Star Wars. I think Star Wars is gonna be fine. We won't know what the real damage is until Episode 9, but that's like a whole nother year away. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Maybe Star Wars. Maybe that's a lot of time. Anything can happen. Like something crazy could happen. Like Kathleen Kennedy could get fired during that time. And I know when that happens, a lot of you are gonna be cheering. You're gonna be excited. You're gonna be like, "Yes, this is amazing news." Then they're gonna replace her with someone more incompetent. You're just gonna be like, "Ew." Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. But overall, my rating for this movie would be some of you might get mad at me, some of you might be happy, some of you might think that's too high, some of you might think that's too low. 4 out of 10. I'm sorry, I hate to break your hearts, or at least some of your hearts, but a 4 out of 10. I just did not like this movie. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. It's just like the safest movie possible. I hate movies that are safe. I like movies that take risks. Even Last Jedi, despite being the most controversial movie of the last decade, at least it took some risk. At least it did something. It did, it went, a separate way than what you would expect. It went in, like, new directions, and Han Solo didn't, and I'm just wondering, why was this movie even made in the first place? Are we just going to see more useless origin stories instead of the real ones people want to see, aka an Obi-Wan movie? Or a Boba Fett movie? I know that was just announced recently with James Mangold directing, so that he could save it. Or not, depends. Yeah, but, yeah, I mean, if they're going to continue this anthology of movies, they need movies that people want to see. Mainly Obi-Wan. He is, like, the big money maker. Like, the fact that they're not making it right now is stupid. And it's just real frustrating. But I don't even know about Star Wars anymore. I think it's starting to self-implode. Actually, it started to self-implode when Last Jedi came out. It started to, like, implode on itself. It's just starting to just fall apart. Like, no one really knows how to save it at this point. I don't know how to save it at this point. I don't think there's anything I can do. But yeah. That's Solo, a Star Wars story. The whole story, from production nightmares to the actual movie, to what I liked about the movie, with the flaws were about it, that stupid SJW droid, all of that was covered in this video. And again, we won't know the real damage of Star Wars until Episode 9. That's when we can fully see, like, oh, people might turn on it by Episode 9. Actually, people might turn on it probably sooner than that if they do something really stupid. But no one even knows what the plot of Episode 9 is. We know there's a script. J.J. Abrams wrote a script, but no one knows what it is. No one knows any details. So yeah, that was... But that movie doesn't come out until December 2019, so no one knows. That was Solo, a Star Wars story. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream. It went very long, but I had to get all I can out of it. I had to explain everything. And again, this was super spoilers, because there were some things I just could not talk about in a non-spoiler review. I had to talk about everything. So make sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, leave a comment, and if you want to see more of these live streams, let me know. Hopefully they won't be as, rant-worthy as Rey not make the new Star Wars movie. Well, I mean, look at another comment. Rey I don't know what they're gonna do with Rey. Like, will she finally be interesting? Will we finally figure out who her parents are? Because the movie said parents were nobodies, and everyone's just like, what? Everyone thought it was gonna be another Star Wars, a Skywalker, someone from the Skywalker family, and that didn't happen. But maybe it still could happen, because when they said nobodies, it didn't mean maybe these nobodies could be related to Luke Skywalker. You don't know. Maybe they're like long lost cousins or something like that. And like with Snoke, everyone's just like, "Oh, he's dead. We never learned anything about him." Maybe it's a clone. Plot twist. Maybe it's a clone. Maybe it's his brother. Maybe it's just that was just a fake villain. The real villain has been lurking in the shadows this whole time. No one knows what's gonna happen. We're all just gonna have to wait until the movie comes out, and in the meantime, we're just gonna have to deal with all this Star Wars stuff. Hopefully, it all doesn't implode at this time. How much money to see this movie? It depends, really. Um, like, for me, like, since it was Thursday night, like, it was a bit exclusive, but not really. It was more like, for me, it was like $14, but there's like certain theaters, at least in my area. I don't know where you're at, where you're located, but at least in my theaters, like if you go to a matinee, like in I think Mount Juliet, oh, San Diego. Well, I have no idea because I've never been to San Diego, and I'd like to. I'd always love to go to Comic-Con, but I don't have the money or the time or any of that, which sucks. But yeah, at least for me, where I'm at, like if you go to a matinee at a certain theater, it's like $8.50, which is lit. That's how I saw Deadpool 2. And I got it for real cheap. It all depends. Probably between 10 to $15. That's like a rough average. But yeah, I think that covers up this live stream. If anyone has any more questions or comments, leave them now. I'm here to, discuss it. Ugh. Honestly, with Star Wars, since I'm a super casual, I'm not the hardcore fans. Yeah, but I wish they wouldn't be so tone deaf about everything. I wish Lucasfilm wouldn't be so tone deaf. I wish they would just listen and just, listen to the fans and just give them what they would like. Or at least give us interesting characters that we can all relate to. I mean, that's what the MCU's done. Yeah, they have a bunch of characters everybody likes. Like the Guardians, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, Vision, yeah, Thanos. You got all these amazing characters that are treated, well, mostly fair. Oh yeah, and Ant-Man, can't forget about him. Or Hawkeye. Oh, yeah, it's such a large cast of characters. And although half of them died in Infinity War, you still cared about most of them, especially like Spider-Man's death. That was the most tragic. But yeah. They still give you characters. Sorry about that. Went off of me again. Which is really annoying. But yeah, the MCU has so many great characters that actually have personalities. Star Wars doesn't really have that right now. Rey doesn't have a personality. Finn doesn't have much of a personality. Poe has a little bit of a personality, but not much. Rose has zero character. Who else? Kylo Ren is just a whiny dude. And I was so excited for him. Like, he had the coolest costume. I got his friggin' lightsaber. Actually, I'll show you his lightsaber. That was how excited I was. I was actually thinking about for Halloween cosplaying as Kylo Ren. See how cool his lightsaber is. This is lit. Right? Right. This is an awesome looking lightsaber. It's a shame they made him such a lackluster character. Like, they didn't do anything interesting with him. He's just kind of a whiner. Just like Luke. And just like Anakin, he's in the same boat. And that's bad. That's not particularly a good thing. Yeah. Yeah. I wish it would make more interesting characters that I could actually care about. That actually, you have a reason to care about. Uh, but I guess that just wraps it up. So make sure to subscribe. Again, like this video, leave a comment. And if you see Solo, let me know. Was it good? Was it crap? Was it lackluster? Did you not care? Let me know. And that is it for this live stream, and I am out.